he's fairly popular. Him and Judge Joe Brown, along with Maybelline, were the three premier black judges that were on TV back in the 90s. And he is the only one left. Actually, he also has another reality show. He has a reality show, I believe, on TV as well about his family life. But I'm going to read this article, and this article comes from GetUpErica.com, and it's titled Judge Mathis claims black men did nothing if Black Lives Marches would kill each other. He praises black women and white kids. So let me just read some of this article, and anybody that wants to chime in, please, by all means, go ahead and raise your hand. It is a very, very short article. It says, in addition to dealing with a deadly global pandemic, 2020 for black people also included many of us fighting for our right to be treated equal, following many unnecessary deaths at the hands of police departments across the state. Famed TV judge Greg Mathis, also real life former judge of Michigan's 36th district, made a bold claim recently against many black men in America who he feels were lacking on the front lines of the Black Lives Matter protests while instead killing each other at alarming rates. During his acceptance speech while being honored at the EMG Foundation in his hometown of Detroit last week, Mathis used his time on the mic to make a strong assertion stating the majority of Black Lives Matter marches were black women and white kids, while our black men sat back and killed each other. He went on to elaborate by adding, falling into this trap that they have set for us by failing us in the education systems, bringing in guns and sending out jobs, and you chumps are going for it like a bunch of suckers, and you're supposed to be cool. You're supposed to be the man. Nah, you ain't no man. You're a punk until you stand up and fight for your woman. The passion in his delivery would make a stranger confuse him for a pastor, and his conviction definitely had a spiritual resonation given his plea for us to do better as a race and gender entirely. Mathis isn't entirely surprising in his strong delivery, especially those who watch him deliver verdicts with zero filter regularly on his Emmy-winning courtroom series Judge Mathis. The nationally syndicated show has been on the air since 1999, entering its record-breaking 23rd season earlier this year. His doc series Mathis Family Matters also shows off his loving family, including a handful of powerful women that was certain to drive his passion to protect melanated sisters everywhere. So, this site has also pretty much kisses him and thinking that he did a good thing or whatever. But here's the thing that even you hear the contradiction in what Mathis is talking about. On one hand, he's sitting there talking about black people are falling into a trap. They're killing each other, this and that. He's saying that okay, yeah, he's saying, yeah, I know it's systematic racism. I know we have messed up school system. He said we have a failing education system. I know they're bringing in guns, which means they're flooding in guns into our community. I know that they're sending jobs outside of the country, which means that they're making you unemployed, which means that there's actually no jobs and industries in your neighborhoods. But hey, you're too much of a sucker and too much of a coward to do anything about it, and you're falling for it. So you have this black man, this prominent black man, who's in the actual criminal justice system, who sees the absolute neglect of how black people are treated. He sees it, he identifies it, and he blames black people. And I guess Mathis also forgot for a second that the actual the actual start of the Black Lives Movement, which caught fire back in 2020, was because of the death of a black man. So he's sitting up there saying that all the work put in was by black women, that black men basically were lazy, sat on their bus, did nothing. So the fact that Judge Mathis would even state something like this, knowing how dangerous this type of perception is about black men, he himself is a black man. He's sitting up and he's pretty much going along with this stereotype. And let's not also forget that Black Lives Matter, a lot of them just took the agenda that black people have been doing for years, gave it a catchy title, was funded by George Soros and other Democratic operatives and whatnot. Don't give a damn about black men whatsoever. Just use them as a mascot to go ahead and parade their actual agenda around it. He's sitting up here down in black men left and right. And getting instead of you getting an award and stuff, and you sitting up here. Not only that, but Mathis himself was a trouble man growing up, to my understanding as well. I'm not sure if he did any time or whatnot, but he was pretty much a well-known knucklehead. And give him credit, he turned his life around. So you get a brother credit and props for that. But what he did here by going here and generalizing every black male, was very low because he has a son that's LGBTQ. He would not allow anybody to generalize the LGBTQ. He would not generalize white people like that. He sure wouldn't generalize the Jewish community like that or the Asian community. Yeah, he goes ahead and he takes a snipe at black men. He himself is a black man. And he's this is the type of the stuff we're talking about where you have a black man who you can say who has done well for himself and has that pull yourself up by yourself mentality. And I'll be the first to say that there's a lot of things that goes on in the black community that we shouldn't tolerate and that we shouldn't put up with. But to sit up here and say that this 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 protest, this event that galvanized not only just this country but the entire world, and that black men just basically set up that. When have you ever had any kind of real movement in this country that black men were, if they did not spearhead it, they were the backbone to, or they were the driving force behind it? The civil rights movement. Are you trying? I mean, come on, what are we talking about here? And this was just so disingenuous. I had to tweet this out this morning when I saw that. I could not believe that. Now, what is Judge Mathis doing? What was he doing to help black people progress? What kind of movements has he been putting on? I know a lot of times you have these rich people and they'll form a nonprofit corporation and they'll say that they're mentoring the youth or they're mentoring the underserved community, they're mentoring the at-risk kids and this and that. But what is he doing? Jim Brown, at his age, when he was an older man, used to go out there and actually work with gang members and whatnot, go into the roughest neighborhoods you can find out there in LA at the height of the Crip and Blood Wars, and would go ahead and do stuff. But what is Judge Mathis doing at this point right here that he can just openly criticize black men left and right, throw them under the bus, sit up here and spit on us? And like I say, and this is he's been on TV 23 years. This is the kind of stuff that mainstream America loves to hear. They love to hear some black man sit up here who can say that he made it. There's no excuse for y'all doing this and doing that. And like I say, I can get that to a certain degree. But you yourself were saying, man, that the education systems are failing us. That if these people are bringing in guns, well, that's not the only thing they're bringing in. They're bringing in tons of drugs from all over the world, pouring into your neighborhoods. They're sending jobs out. They're bringing immigrants in. They're doing all kind of underhanded things, and they've been doing this not just for the last 10 years, the last 20 years, the last 30 years. They've been doing this for 60, 70 years. And you sitting up here and you just going ahead and you excusing this. You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem excusing all the things that they're throwing at black men in particular. You don't have a problem excusing that, but you have a problem. But you want to get on black men. You use your platform to really tear down black people, and I just find that inexcusable for somebody who's supposed to be a leader, somebody who's supposed to be a leader of young men and whatnot. If you feel that way, go out there and do something about it. You're in Detroit. We know that Detroit is not the nicest place in the world. What are you doing to uplift your people? What have you been doing outside of, like I say, starting a little nonprofit and this and that? So if anybody has anything that they would like to add to the discussion tonight, please, I want to get people's opinions. I want to get people's thoughts. I want to hear people how they feel about it. Because like I said, when I saw this morning, I went ahead and I tweeted it out. I could not believe what I actually heard. And I mean, just the fact, like I said, I first saw it on Instagram. I'm saying, damn, what's going on? Like, where did all of this come from? Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I want you to tell me if I'm reaching okay. Just if I'm being real, just let me know if I'm reaching. But what is going on with our older black men? With when we have Judge Greg Mathis, when we have Uncle Luke, and all these other people, when they start to lose a little bit of relevance, they start acting like this. What is really going on with that? Because the issues that's been going on in Detroit have been going on for a long time. Why now is he starting to speak up?
Well, here's the thing too, bro, is that he's not really losing. And unlike the ones you say with Luke and whatnot, Luke best days was back in the '90s. He's not really losing relevance. But for the fact of the matter, like I said, he just got him a new reality show. He's been on TV what it says a record-breaking 23 seasons. He's still at the center. He's still getting the center of attention and this and that. And to go ahead and to just and this is one thing we can say about white people as much as they hate on each other. You rarely see white people generalize other white people to the detriment of their race. You rarely see Hispanics, generalize Hispanics to the detriment of their race. You rarely see Asians generalize Asians to the detriment. But a black person will go ahead, he or she They will sit up there and make sweeping generalizations. Now, the first thing if somebody will talk about racism and talk about white people being racist, the first thing out of Judge Mathis' mouth will be said, well, all white people ain't racist. All white people ain't bad. I know some good white people. And I'm agreeing with you. But black people, they can make these sweeping generalizations. They can talk about black people this and black people that, and we all this and we all that. You set up here and you talk about George Floyd was a black man who got his life snuffed out, man. And you sitting up there talking about black men didn't do anything. And not only that, you heap praise on black women and you heap praise on black kids. So I guess none of the young folks out there was any young black men. It was just all young white kids that was out. It was all black women and white kids. There were no 20-some-year-old black men that was out there. There were no 30-some-year-old black men that was out there. There were no teenage black men that was out there. It was just all of a sudden, it was just nothing but black women and white kids. The kind of stuff that, most liberal black people will tell you anyways. They go ahead and they downplay any importance that black men play in this country while lifting our sisters up. I don't have any problem with you giving the sisters their credit. But in order for you to give them the sisters our credit, you have to step on our back. And this is coming from a black man stepping on our back right here. Go ahead, Ray.
Now, I had no idea about his new show. To be honest, I haven't really watched Judge Mathis since the '90s. My mother watching and things like that. But you brought up a good point, considering that he has this new, big paying job and things like that. Do you think it could be someone else influencing him to say these type of things? So, because he probably wants to keep his position.
I definitely wouldn't put it past him because I guarantee you he's going to be the same one stumping vote blue no matter what. Somebody tweeted that earlier. Like, I think he's the same type of fool that's going to say vote blue no matter what. So I definitely, you got to remember too that we forget that a judge is also a politician. I know we don't think about that like that, but judges are elected. Okay, judges know about the political process. A judge is unless you like in the Supreme, you're not appointed. Like you're elected. You know what I'm saying? You have to campaign to be a judge. So the fact of the matter is that this man here to me is putting on political theater, and he's willing to use the old throw the black man under the bus, rake him over the coals to go ahead and prove a point. Because when you have a black man that's successful, you have a black man that's a millionaire, you have a black man that's a judge, you have a black man that's this and that. People gonna say, well, hey, and not only that, he's going to use all the, I came up the rough way because if you ever seen Judge Mathis show, Judge Mathis lets you know he was a knucklehead, he got in trouble, he did this, he turned around his life. Props to the brother. I'm not taking anything away from that. My issue is that you did not come into this statement and say, we have too many brothers out there doing this or too many brothers doing that. You sat up here and you tell her that black men was just sitting back killing each other. You made a sweeping generalization. You talk about while our black men sat back killing each other. I mean, what kind of crap is that to say? You're sitting up here and you're saying that this entire movement, which is spearheaded off the death of a black man, it's bad enough that you got Black Lives Matter, who is raked in fist over dollar, who definitely is against the traditional household. You know, they're against the father being the head and this and that. They have an issue with that, but they don't have an issue. They don't have a problem. Whenever a black man is killed in the street, using that black man to go ahead so they can siphon dollars from donors and whatnot. But you sitting up here and you up here going ahead and just sitting up here giving mainstream America. This is something like Fox News would have said here. And for somebody that's supposed to be a respected figure of the black community to sit up here and to just mimic these talking points, I thought was just pretty disrespectful. I was very disappointed by what I heard from Judge Mathis. You know, when I have seen Judge Mathis show, I don't agree with everything he says or whatever. But I'm saying, well, hey, you give the man his due or whatever. Lloyd, I see you got your hand up.
Yeah, hey, how y'all doing tonight?
How you doing?
I'm good. And I keep getting put in the with the matrix. So if I go out, just let me know. Here's the thing. Greg Mathis and I are the same age, and I was thinking about this whole idea a couple weeks ago. Before any of this came up, I was thinking about this thought. There's a reason why change is made by young people. Greg Mathis is 62 years old. He was raised he came up in a time, means he was born in 1960 in the middle of the civil rights movement, same as me. He was raised at a time where you had to do certain things. White people controlled it, and you had to get their approval, or you were going nowhere. Even when you break down his story about how he was a knucklehead and he was out here doing, well, I don't know exactly what he was doing, but he wasn't doing what white people thought that he should be. And he became successful after he started doing what white people told him to do. So I understand why is he in the place that he is at and saying these kinds of things? Not because of one thing. I'll just say it. I'm gonna be just straight up. If I get trolled about it, I get trolled. Here's the thing: he's doing it because they're paying him to do it. Do you think they give somebody a show that goes up and talks about how great black men are, or puts out what we've accomplished in this country? No. Where's that show? Think about this. Since TV was started, look at how they portray black men, smart black men. Urkel became the star of the show, right? Because he was the nerd guy nobody liked. But the big star of the show was the brother, the athlete, right? Fred Sanford, dumb as a box of rocks, Negro kind of person, trying to rip everybody off. George Jefferson. What's the name from Good Times? John Amos' character.
Talk about
James Evans.
James Evans.
JJ becomes the star, but the father, James. James could never get a job, could never become successful, and when he gets a break, they kill off the character. So when you ask why is Judge Mathis doing this, one is because he believes that's what he's supposed to do, and two, they're giving him a huge check to do it. Like, does anybody listen to Joe Madison show on Sirius 126? Listen to how he talks about black people, black men particularly.
What is he, like a Jesse Lee Peterson type of character, or is he speaking positively? Like, what are you talking about, brother?
Okay, today he said that this is his show, and if you don't like his opinion, then don't listen to his show. But he's not hearing anybody else that's not agreeing with him. So what is he pushing? The Democrats are doing all of this for us.
But is he speaking positively about the black community? I'm guessing something being critical.
Boy, it's kind of nuanced. At the end of the day, he's harming the black community because he's pushing Joe Biden. He's pushing Joe Biden. So, but he's not going to say, he will say, you people don't do it, or not. He doesn't say you people, that Lloyd said that. Okay. But he'll say, we're not doing this, and, you're not involved, and blah, 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 blah. But then he tells you have to support the candidates that, put us in prison. You understand the point I'm talking about?
Not to cut you off, Lloyd, because I'm going to let you get back to your point, but I'm in agreement with you. Like, somebody cutting a check with Judge Mathis, and my thing is, like, how many checks do you need cut when you're already a millionaire? You're already a millionaire. You've already been on TV almost 25 years. So why do you have to keep taking this money to go ahead and screw your people over with, man?
See, I don't think you should be looking at Greg Mathis. I think you should be looking at the system and how it works. Remember when that guy, Mr. Smith, I don't know his first name, but Mr. Smith went to Morehouse and said the black billionaire, that he's going to pay off all of the graduating class student debt. He's paying it.
You talking about Robert Smith. Yeah, Robert Smith.
Did anybody notice that 2 weeks later the IRS put him under investigation?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah. Yes, and it's still not over, and he may get indicted. Now, nobody even knew Robert Smith. He was allowed to raise $1 billion or billions of dollars, however much he's got. But the second he says, I'm going to put some black folks on the right path, IRS is investigating your ass. Okay. And so y'all want to talk about Greg Mathis? I'd rather talk about the IRS. I'd rather talk about, a system that puts a Greg Mathis up there. Because that's what they're not going to put. Name one black person in mainstream media, and I know y'all hate him, but let's talk about one of the guys that was up there, Roland Martin. They put him in CNN for about a year. And when he started asking questions about black folks, they said, oh, no, you're too radical. We're going to bring in Al Sharpton, who, first words out of his mouth, we are nonviolent.
Well, I would say this now. From the time I listened to Roland, and I don't hate Roland. I heard you say that y'all hate him, but I don't hate Roland. But I'll say this here. I myself never considered Roland to be like a militant or anything like that. So I've always Roland to me has always kind of skated that thin line between he always wanted to fit in with the actual Democratic Party and whatnot. And that's nothing wrong. That's what you want to do, fine. But I never really considered him somebody, and they never considered him somebody to go against the establishment either. Now, sometimes I think we get this confused that we have a black person that may sit up there and they may go ahead and talk about things that we see that everybody in the world can see is wrong and point it out and say, well, this is what black people need and this and that. And then people will say, well, that person was speaking some real truth and they were speaking some real facts and the white people got rid of him and whatnot. Roland to me is always kind of skated that thin. I'm not going to say he's like Henry Louis Gates Jr., but he's always kind of skated thin ice with me. So I really don't see him to that point, to that level like that.
But see, here's the thing that you've got to remember. You can't play the game if you are not sitting at the table. So, and that's the whole point I'm making, is that you can get to a certain point and still sit at the table. But the second you cross that line, they're taking your seat. Now you can't do anything. That's why, our movement has come in phases and stages. And that's why the social media is so important, and one reason why they're putting Greg Mathis, the Greg Mathis is out there, is because 10 years ago we did not have the ability to have this conversation the way that we're having it. Now anybody can open up a space and start discussing things and get to the truth, and once you feel you know the truth, can't nobody take that away from you. Because television now is not as powerful in terms of propaganda as it once was.
Lloyd,
yes.
Was there? I just had to look up the whole Greg Mathis thing.
So one second, True. Before you go ahead, we're gonna go ahead. Just when you want to speak, just to kind of keep a little bit of order, just go ahead and raise your hand. And we'll let Lloyd go ahead and finish, and then you can come right behind.
I just want everybody to understand, don't get distracted with Greg Mathis. Get distracted about the system that put him in a position to say it and the whole world heard it.
Here's my thing, and I'm going to kick it to True. Sometimes, man, you got to have some principle, and you just got to stand up. Now, Greg, like I said, get back, and I know you say, well, we can't blame him, we got to blame him. No, we're going to blame him as well, too, because he is the mouthpiece. White people need a mouthpiece to go ahead and spew their garbage. And Greg himself volunteered to be the mouthpiece. Greg did not have to be the mouthpiece. Greg was getting an award. Greg did not have to go ahead and throw black men under the bus. And he knew that this was going to hit the fan right here. Yet he went right ahead. He went ahead and he's done something that liberals have been doing for the past 60 years. They've built up black women at the expense of black men. He couldn't sit up there and try to give black men their credit too, because like I said, it was a black man's death that spearheaded this whole movement really across the nation, across the globe. It was Lord by him getting killed. He spearheaded everything across the nation. And not only this, Mathis is in the place in his life where Mathis is financially set. Mathis can tell these people to kiss his ass if he's just not a greedy fool. Okay, we've had black men that did that before at the expense of losing everything. Muhammad Ali. We had Jim Brown tell the NFL in his prime what he was going to do. The NFL told him, he said, no, I'm going to do this here, and I'm going to do it my way. And walked right off in his prime. So we've had examples. We had Kurt Floyd in baseball who brought about free agency and whatnot. He told him he didn't want to just be traded without having any say. So we've had black people, and that's what this is the thing that I'm pointing at Mathis. We've had black men stand up and say what they're gonna do and what they're not gonna do. Yet he would not do this. Like I said, he's already set for life. He has millions of dollars in the bank. He can walk away from that show right now. Hell, Judge Joe Brown walked away from it when he felt like he wasn't getting his due. He wasn't getting what he's supposed to get. He walked right away from it. He could do the exact same. He's probably made more money because he's been on TV longer. He could walk right away. But instead of doing that, he decides to go ahead and to placate the white people and their beliefs that black men ain't nothing but big babies and whatnot, that we the most violent things on earth. He went right ahead up there and he said this is dangerous what he said too. Let's not make any mistake about that.
News. Can I just say this? We don't know what they have on him. So they may have said, "Oh, you'll do this," because he's out of Chicago. It shows the Judge Mathis shows out of Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so there have been stories. So if you don't do what they say, look at Judge Joe Brown. They've arrested him a couple times because he told them, "You ain't got nothing on me. I'll walk away," and he did. But they made him look crazy. That's what I'm saying. See, we play fair. We are moral and have ethics. They don't. So we don't know what they have on Greg. And I'm not making any excuses for him, because what he said was, it's just it's unconscionable. However, understand there's stuff we don't know.
Agreed. We don't know exactly what they may have on him and this and that, but I'm saying, nonetheless, I don't. And sometimes, let's be for real. Sometimes they don't have things on black people like that either. But black people are so in love with getting that bag, so in love with the enamored with the glamour and the lifestyle that they're willing to crap on other black people at our expenses. This man right here, like I said, you sitting up and talking about the black women and white kids were marching and this and that, and my black men sat back killing each other. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? There are plenty, like most, and let's be for real, a lot of those people at those marches commit violence were white people. There were white people out there burning gas stations down and doing all kind of destructive stuff. And because they were out there with black people got blamed for it. And you sitting up there talking about they just sat back there killing each other. And then at the same token, you have the nerve, the audacity, the gall to sit up here and say, well, just because they're screwing us in the education system, and just because they're shipping out all of the jobs in the community, and just because they're doing this and they're doing that, that doesn't give you any right. I mean, here's the thing. Let's be for real. Poverty is the greatest indicator of violence and crime. So communities, because we seen that. We seen when we had the Italians. We seen when you had the Jews. We seen when you had the Irish. When these people were in utter poverty, these people were the first mobsters and the first gangsters in this country. People forget about that. People forget that the ghettos that they used to house the Jewish people and stuff long before black people ever came up there. Because you see, people want to act like crime is a black thing. And when you have a man, I'm gonna let you finish, brother. And when you have a man that's a judge that sits up here and he go ahead and he says this type of stuff, he reinforces white supremacy. And that's what Judge Mathis did. He reinforced white supremacy at the expense of his own people. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you guys, because I'm gonna come back to you, Lloyd, but I'm gonna go ahead and just so we move around, keep your hand up, because I'm gonna come back to you. I want to say thank you to Yahweh Ben Yahweh and to Be More Codified for your contribution on Cash App. But let me let you get to say one more thing, just because we got a couple other hands up. So go ahead.
Who is that to?
I'm gonna let you finish and say your last point.
I'm gonna tell a real quick story. So about 30 years ago, I started working on a campaign against what I at the time was calling a Jim Clyburn, and He had been with Mayor Daley forever. Whatever Mayor Daley said, he went along with. And even if it was going to kill 1,000 black people, if the mayor said it, he was like, "That's fine. He'd sign off, but he'd vote for it." Okay. And so I said, we all started saying it's time for him to go. And I started working for a candidate against him. And, it was the first time I'd ever heard in a political discourse another black person call another black person coon. And so I started calling him a coon publicly. And so my boss at the time, who was an elected official, called me in and said, "Lloyd, we got to talk. You got to stop doing it." And I said, "No, he throws us under the bus every time that man tells him to do it." And she said, let me explain how this works. I know you're upset, but think about this. He's been with him for 20 years. And your candidate could not be running if he had not been there for the last 20 years. Keep that in mind when you're going out calling him a coon. So again, I started out with can't play the game if you're not sitting at the table. Somebody has to be the spook sitting by the door. And I'll land on that.
But guys, stick around, Lloyd, because we're gonna come back to you and stuff like that too. And anybody also that wants to come up here and speak, by all means, please go ahead. This is an open mic on this situation here. We want to talk. Thank you, Dr. Deborah, for your contribution on Cash App as well. I'm gonna kick it to you. We had True up here, but I guess I don't know if we might have lost True. So, Irv, go ahead. Go ahead and unmute your mic. If you come back in the spot, please come up and request to speak again.
How you guys doing?
How you doing?
Good. A couple of weeks ago, just because you guys mentioned Joe Brown, I was listening to Joe Brown the other day. He was on a YouTube with this young lady as a host, and I guess they asked to read. And I was listening to Joe Brown. He was saying, foundational Black Americans don't have any culture and stuff like that. And now that he's saying that Judge Mathis is saying the same, or having the same rhetoric, like, it sounds like it's like these guys are doing the same thing over and over again. Because it's on YouTube where Judge Brown was saying, like, hey, foundational Black Americans don't got no culture. I mean, we can build a culture, but we don't have one as right now. Going on about other foundational Black Americans when we got hip hop and songs and stuff like that. And I'm like, man.
Yeah, you're saying, because it's kind of hard to hear you because you're kind of low, but you're saying that Judge Joe Brown said that because Judge Joe Brown has been on my Twitter space. He's been in the news on the Twitter space a few times. So, matter of fact, his cousin Ray just raised his hand, but Judge Joe Brown has been up here quite a few times and whatnot, at least about 4 times maybe. And, I've never heard him say that before. You're saying that he said that Black Americans or FBA, either one has no culture, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I was listening to it a couple of weeks ago. It's on YouTube with, I think Dana.
Yeah, you talking to Real Dana. Dana's been up in here too.
Yeah, Real Dana. Dana sound like you. This love, I like trying to make it seem like they don't got they don't got any culture. It's only music and good music. I'm like, man, it's like the black judges, like they not on hold. I mean, I felt as if he was trying to like push like, hey, we could build a culture. He wasn't really going in how like Judge Mathis was, but it was just a coincidence that now Judge Mathis is saying the same thing. I'm like, man, it's like this something that all judges, all black judges, when they get to a certain point, like they feel as if we don't have any culture or we're not, black men aren't good enough. But I just wanted to bring that up because just like Asian Black Day, man, you just gotta watch out for these old heads, man. Like, you gotta hold them accountable. And it's like, man, sorry, I'm actually driving on the highway.
You're good. Like I said, I've never heard and spoken to had the judge up here a few times. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He was like, man, we don't really got no culture. I'm like, he was like, oh, it's mixed with Western cultures and diaspora. And it's like, I feel like it's like a melting pot. I'm like, man, I don't really believe that. Even Dana was checking up like, no, we got this, we got that, like, like resistance and how like African Americans like really set the tone of the world, and he was just like not with it. And I was like, man, that sounded kind of crazy to me. And I love them now, but it's just like all these older judges, black judges, are they like giving up on the younger generation that's coming up? Because it don't sound like they got the dog in them anymore. So that's all I want to say.
Okay, like I said, I've had the judge up in here. We've had him up in here maybe 3, maybe 4 times. I can't remember, but I definitely don't ever remember him saying something like that. I listened to It's been a while since I listened to Dana's show, but I am subscribed to her channel, and
Yeah,
I've
you can look it up right now. It's on there. I think it's like 2 weeks old. I'm not mistaken. It's like a week or 2 weeks old. And I love Joe Brown, but it's just kind of it was heartbreaking when I was hearing him talk like that. I'm like, man, you are the coach. Like, people look up to you, and when you got telling other people or the younger generation that you guys don't have no coaches, like it sounds bad. But I think to me personally, I feel as if he was trying to push. If he didn't say that makes coaches, he was saying like, hey, we can make a better coaches, but right now it's just European and diaspora. I'm like, uh, highly disagree with that because I'm like, man, they
Well,
know
I
better.
would have to I would have to, like I say, I'm gonna have to go ahead and listen to that myself or whatever. I appreciate you putting it out there, but I definitely need to go kind of check it out. One thing I know about Judge Joe, he doesn't have a feel to
Oh
him. So
yeah, for sure, for sure.
well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, yo. Go ahead and stick around, and if you want to join back in the discussion, just go ahead and raise your hand. I
All
want
right,
to say thank you to Brother Moku for your contribution on Cash App. If anybody that's in the actual Twitter space, please go ahead and tweet out the space to your followers. Also, if you're not, we have the links, our links to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel, and newsletter, all in the Jumbotron. I'm trying to keep the Jumbotron pretty small so you guys can see the actual links, and you can go ahead and subscribe to us or follow us on the different social media channels. So up in the Jumbotron, you'll see the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the Newstoter newsletter link, as well as our Venmo and Cash App and PayPal. So if you want to contribute to us on Cash App, it's $Newstoter. Anybody that's in the actual Twitter space that's not following us, please go ahead and follow the host and the co-host. Newstoter is the largest curator today of Black news today in America, the largest news curator. Once again, thank you to Brother Moku for your contribution as well. Rake, I know you want to say something, so I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and unmute your mic.
No, I'm gonna be, nice. If that is the case, no one is above being checked, whether that's my family or not. But if you're gonna say something like that, like I said, I would like for you to post the receipts because, like I said, that is my cousin. I can get him on the phone in 10 minutes and be like, what's going on with this? Maybe he misspoke. Maybe he might be just miseducated on the subject. Just because he's a judge does not mean he knows everything. So if that's the case, like I said, we need to bring him in and have that conversation because as long as I've known him, he's always been a stand-up guy, and I don't think he would just start cooning for no reason at however old he is right now. That just doesn't make any sense.
Definitely. Like I said, we've had him up in a couple spots, and that, like I said, I would actually need to listen to that myself as well. DJ, I know you up in the spot. You want to go ahead and add on?
Hey, what's up, fam? Black people love reparations up, so you already know. Yeah, Greg Mathis a coon. I don't care. You know what I mean? You don't say black men was not doing anything in the Black Lives Matter protest when you saw mainly a lot of black men. Yeah, of course there are white people out here marching and stomping too. Why? Because they got black family members and black friends, and they don't like what they saw with the knee on the neck. So for him to sit up here and say the only people that were out here stomping and marching were black women and white men, he's a coon, bro, all day long. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's a bunch of black men that's constantly out here fighting for the right thing, reparations, black agenda. You trying to get into politics like Marcel. And then you got unfortunately, these, and I hope y'all can hear me too, I'm outside, apologies. But you also got these coons that have been in office, like a Clyburn, ain't doing shit for nobody. And we sit up here and just, constantly badmouth black men. Black men is constantly getting the worst fucking rhetoric in this country, yo. And I'm really sick of that shit. And it's mainly coming from our black people and black women in general. And then you got a coon-ass joker like Greg Mathis. Hold up a minute, fam. You's a career felon yourself, dog. So how you gonna sit up here and say black men is all shooting and killing and we ain't out here marching and protesting enough? You was a felon before you was a judge, though. Hold on, fam. I'll give my mic there.
No doubt, bro. I'm with you on that. Like I say, he always said that he was a knucklehead or reform knucklehead and this and that. Now you done got your millions and you want to go ahead and you want to talk noise. Lloyd, go ahead and unmute your mic. I know you had your hand back up.
Yeah, I want to go back to Joe Brown. First, I need to know the context of the statement. And first, I want to hear the statement. Then I want to know the context in which it was said. Because I believe that Joe Brown would say something like black folks don't know their culture. I believe that he would say something like black folks don't celebrate their culture. But Joe Brown is too educated to say something like black people don't have a culture. And I'm talking about freedmen, FBA, Negro, whatever you call it. I'm talking about the ones that come from slaves. Joe Brown is from, I believe, Tennessee. So he knows the contributions that black men have made to this country. So I really need to hear the statement and know the context in which it was stated.
I'm in agreement with that because Judge Joe Brown is a historian too. I mean, he's not just a judge or whatever. I mean, this dude can spit some historical facts for you. I mean, he's deep with it. So like I said, I would have to hear that myself.
Hey, Tom, just let me know. I can get him on the phone in 10 minutes. You already know it ain't nothing.
Get him on the phone. I know he may be busy, but if you can get him on the phone, he's more than
right. I wouldn't even waste cousin time with this, you know what I mean? Unless he just ain't got nothing else to do for the night. He just want to have somebody chuckle real quick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like to give him a heads up before he come into space or whatever, because he's an older gentleman. He's a celebrity still. He has things to do. So I like to give somebody a head up like that who may have a busy schedule ahead of them or whatever. But I mean, we could definitely set a space around this and and ask the judge about did you say something about do Black Americans have culture? And I'm sure he'd be more than willing to go ahead and and elaborate for us. So I don't want to disturb him tonight or whatever. Because like I said, the judge he was with. I'm sure he did some recording with Dana, so you never know exactly what other schedule he had and whatnot. Because I know he's supposed to be also running from there in 2023 as well. So, but me and you, we can talk in the back channels and we can set something up and see what's up, whatever. You holler at him first, and you're like, well, on Newstoter space, and so we can set something up in the back channel. So.
All right, just let me know.
Yeah. We definitely can do that. Like I said, and I'm in agreement with DJ too. Like I said, there's never been any in the history of this country. There's never been any movement in which a black person lost their life that black men didn't participate in. And to sit up here and like I said, for somebody that's supposed to be somebody that is an educated man, somebody that's supposed to be a leader, like Judge Mathis, to sit up here and to try to go ahead and just throw salt on black men, to me was just, that I really can't put that into words. I mean, I know a lot of people, they watch him, they support him and this and that, but I personally, as a man, have a hard time watching anything, supporting anything with this dude. Like I said, he will go out of his way if anybody says anything offensive about LGBT, because he has a son that's LGBTQ. But you don't care. I mean, your son might be LGBTQ, but your son is a black man first and foremost. And like I said, you would never, in a million years, you would never generalize LGBTQ the way you just generalize black. You would never sit up here and do that. Leon, go ahead and unmute your mic.
How you doing, Newstoter? Thanks for letting me
come up here. That damn Judge Mathis, I'll tell you.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that he would say something like that for the simple fact, like you just mentioned about his son, one of his sons of the two, is gay, and then he has two black sons. So how can he how can we take him as face value for what he said and go? That's like going against your own sons. You know what I'm saying? So him making that statement is wrong, and for him, I don't even know, man. How can you? I don't know if it's just what's the word? Not PR. I don't know if he was just trying for ratings or it just makes no sense. Like he's going off of his own convictions. I don't know what point he's trying to make. I don't know who he's catering to. Well, I mean, we kind of do know, because he's still doing his shows. So I mean, in a way, we kind of do know because for ratings and his handlers. But it's just makes no sense, man. I'll land there.
Yeah, I was taken aback by the actual statement myself too. Like you said, he's supposed to be a leader. You have kids, and you come out and you put something out like that. There's really no words to describe it. And here's the thing that's really even more troublesome is that there are no black people talking about this. You have some publications that have written articles about it, but there's nobody in the black media. I mean, when I'm talking about celebrities, entertainers, whatever, politicians, nobody, activists, anything saying anything about this derogatory statement he made about black men. Had that been a white man said that, had that been a white man that said the exact same thing that he said, that all y'all do is sit back and kill each other, oh my God. Right now you have picket signs up, marching, talking about canceling this white man, getting him fired, and this and that. But the fact that this is Judge Mathis, and like I said, they know how to select their people too. The Judge Mathis is talking about how he came up the hard way, how he came up on the rough side, how he got it, how he his nose wasn't always clean and this and that, and look at me now, look at how I pulled myself up. This is almost like this was just, I don't know, just set up too much right here. Boy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if anybody noticed, but if you do commit a federal crime, you can't be a judge. I don't know if people know that or not. So I just want to put that out there.
He probably ain't commit no federal crime. He probably did got some little misdemeanor, this and that, or whatever. He may have ran with a little gang or whatever, but I'm sure, like you say, if it was something major, he wouldn't be no damn judge.
Nah, he don't got no federal offenses. It's just like, little running around the block, probably stealing and, knucklehead shit as a kid, you know what I mean? And as a young teenage man or whatever, you know what I mean?
Boy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just want to say that I want to drill down further on this because it's really not about Greg Mathis. It's really about the system that put him up. Now, think about this. If you ever watch the two shows, Judge Joe Brown and Judge Mathis show, Judge Mathis made his bones. His show is about humiliating people when they come on his show. Joe Brown never humiliated you. He might have educated you, but he was not, he didn't come at you and made you feel like you were nothing. He never did that. I've never seen him do that. Now, he could make you feel stupid because he pointed out the error of your ways, but he didn't do it in a way that was humiliating. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand what you're saying, but hold on.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish the point. So here's the thing. Look at where Joe Brown is today, and look at where Greg Mathis is today, and ask yourself, why is that? Because it would seem to me the person that should be doing the reality show and getting more money would be Joe Brown, because he has done nothing. And like I said, I did not hear the quote that he was been accused of saying. I didn't hear that. I'm not going to comment until I do and know the context in which it was said. But he has done nothing but uplift our people. Even you said, somebody said he's a historian. I mean, look at the things that he has done for this community. What has Greg Mathis done for this community but tell us, I did it, look at me, look at how good I am, and you're not as good as me because y'all out here being stupid and killing each other. That's what he's really saying. Isn't that what he's saying? I'm all that and you're not. And that is called meritorious manumission. Because he's telling the white folks, I'm the good one. You can trust me. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know what they've got on him, but I know they got something. I don't know what they got on him. But do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
I get you, brother. I get you. And I'm with you in agreement to a certain degree. But this is what I'm going to say right here. The only difference we have is that, yeah, he may be put up to it. I'm glad to see Nurse Mickey raise her hand because I definitely want to get a woman's point of view on this, a black woman. I definitely want to know what the sister thinks about another black man finding a way to tarnish black people by using black women. He wants to use black women. He wants to use white kids. He didn't even say white people. He said white kids. That's how much he thinks of us as black men. That it was black women and it was white kids out there. Y'all was just killing yourself. I mean, man, shut the hell up. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But here's our thing as black people. We gotta start checking our own magpies in our community. Okay, we sit up there and we talk about the white man this and the white man that. And Jason Black made a point that was so valid at the time that when slavery ended, we all got free, and that included the Sambos and the bed bucks and the mammies and the bed wenches as well. They got free as well too. And when they got free, they brought chaos and confusion with them as well. And we never checked these people. And that also included the Boule Negroes, the house Negroes that lived in the house as well too. They, along with the rest of us, mixed in, and these people to this day have never been checked. And to this day, they still hold these positions and whatnot. They're gatekeepers. They are dangerous. And if he believes this and he's saying this garbage like that, because like I said, he wouldn't say this about his son's LGBT group. He would never generalize LGBT people the way he just did black men. You know, because LGBT, to my knowledge, LGBTQ men, they commit violence as well. Okay, don't say they don't commit violence as much as black. Yeah, they're a much smaller group. So don't sit up there and say this garbage. And then, we can't sit up there and say, yeah, he was put up to it by a white person. So what? Okay. The same way, he's the same white person, he's the same black person that tells you that, hey, just because white people pump drugs into the community don't mean you got to sell them. He's the same Negro that tell you just because they pump guns into the community don't mean you got to shoot other people. He's the same one that tell you just because they take all the jobs and they send them overseas and they bring immigrants in don't mean that you got to get out there and sell dope. He's the same Negro that would say that. So since he's the same Negro that can manage to find his sack and say something like this, then he's got to be held accountable as well. Nurse Mickey, go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Hey guys, I came late to the conversation, so I want to say hello to everybody. I'm kind of like just hearing this, but I will say that my husband was a big fan of Judge Mathis, so I've watched a lot of his shows, and I see how he is so quick to jump on black people, calling them crackheads, disrespecting them. It's almost like he go out of his way, and it's just like now to hear something like this, I just can't watch it no more. I'm done with it. He won't get no airplay in my house anymore. I'm deleting all my husband's shows tonight, and I will tell him why in the morning. But this is ridiculous for him to say that every time something going on with black people, black men get up and step and represent. What's that brother's name that got killed was he from Baltimore? Was it Darren Seals? He was a big stepper. We got to give our people credit when they out here doing good stuff. And I just noticed, we got a lot of black people that's celebrities that just like to shit on black people. We got to cut ties with them and we need to call them out. So thank you for spreading this news. And Judge Mathis won't get any more airplay in my house until he apologizes.
Thank you, sister. I wanted to hear sister's perspective on this, a sister's point of view I wanted to hear what you thought about this because any real sister knows that there's never been a movement in this country concerning black people that black men have not stepped up to the plate. So Judge Mathis, I don't know if he lives on Pluto or whatever the hell he lives at. I don't even know what he's talking about. But to me, it's like I said, it's somebody that's chasing more fame and more dollars and chasing a bigger bag. As if you don't have enough, man. I'm sure you're probably worth $30, $40 million easily, but that's still not enough. And that's the problem with our people too. You got black people in this country that's worth some of these celebrities and sports stars and entertainers. They worth $100 million damn dollars, and they so scared that they're gonna lose a dime of it that they sit up here and just any issue that comes out, they're so anti-black. You hear Charles Barkley them talking and whatnot. No matter whatever happens, no matter how many black people get killed, no matter what's the actual event, whether it was Trayvon Martin or whatever, Charles Barkley, a black person, is always an excuse. It's always a reason that it happened. It's always a reason why this person gets off. Well, there wasn't enough evidence. Well, they didn't prove their point. It's always a reason. It's always something. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I have a theory that a lot of these black people, I believe a lot of these white people or some people that's giving them money must have something on them for the reason for them not to speak up. Because it seems like the brothers that do speak up, things happen to them. Like, I'm not saying Cosby's innocent, but all of a sudden, he gets all these cases and these women were able to bring him down and he had all these millions of dollars. I'm just saying.
And that's what Lloyd is saying. Lloyd, and I feel what Lloyd is saying. He's saying that, hey, they got to have something on you. And they may have something incriminating on you. They may have some dirt on you. They may have some evidence on you. They may have something that could ruin your career, even ruin your family or whatever. If that's the case, man, why not just step out? You got, especially those. It's one thing if you're up and coming and you're trying to get your money, but if you've already secured that bag, if you've already set up generational wealth for 5, 6 generations to come in your family, why not just gracefully bow out? Let somebody else have it. Tell them, hey, boss, I've done all I can do. I'm tired. I'm gone. I'm gonna leave the country or whatever. I'm done. I'm finished. Why not just gracefully bow out instead of tearing your people apart? These people, we talk about white supremacy, but white supremacy is aided by the help of other people. I mean, you help give white supremacy even more power. Lloyd, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you and I agree with you, but here's the thing. I've never belonged to a gang, but I have friends that have been involved, and they always tell me it's blood in and blood out. So, if they've got something on you, you don't get to say, I'm going to turn around and walk away. Not when they got something on you. So I don't, and again, I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm simply saying that let's understand that there's so much stuff that we don't understand about how the real game is played, the manipulation, the propaganda, how all that plays together. They may have told him, leave if you want to and see what happens. Don't know. And I'm not making a huge warm. I'm just saying we have to, because what has to happen is our community has to make it so that those kind of people, not Judge Mathis and what he just said, but people that are up there that can make a difference are protected. What happens is I was a caseworker for Illinois Department of Human Services for 18 years. Do you know who one of my clients was?
Who was it?
Mamie Till Mosby.
Say that name again, I'm sorry.
Mamie Till Mosby.
Oh, that's
Emmett's mother was on friggin' welfare.
Oh Lord. That's crazy.
And let me say this, that's not what I heard, that's what I know, because I worked on her case.
Yeah, that goes to show that as a community, man, we're not doing what we need to do as well. that's showing that we as a community that we are definitely not doing what we do. And I want you to understand, Lord, I'm in agreement with you about them because we know the way white supremacy works. I know that they hold things over black people's head and whatnot. When I'm saying we as black people though, whether they're holding something over somebody's head or whatnot, like I said, how many major black people have come out and said something like, "Hey man, Judge Mathis, like we demand an apology here." Not even boycotting them. Not even boycotting. Say, hey, we demand an apology. What you said was offensive. If this is another group that you generalize like that, we need an apology.
But aren't you doing that now by holding this space? And how many people are on here? And they're going to tweet out that this space was held and that eventually it's going to get back to him. You got a problem. I'm not even worried about that. But what I am concerned about is somebody brought up Bill Cosby. Here's my question with Bill Cosby. Was there a black person on that jury? Because if there was, how did they not get a hung jury? Because Bill was not the first one. Let's go back to Mike Tyson. Chick shows up at his door at 2 o'clock in the morning in a negligee talking about she wants an autograph at a hotel room. Really? Top of his game. Couldn't nobody touch him. Look at him today. Does this not seem like a pattern? And what? We don't protect our own. You know, it's really funny. Like, we say, all white jury, let the white guy go. Well, why can't we get on the jury and say, nope, not guilty? Because you don't need 12, you only need one.
We did do that in the case of O.J. Simpson. O.J. should be thanking.
Hold up, stop, wait, don't go. No, hold up. They did not believe that man did that. They did not believe that it was him.
Let me finish. In the sense that black women came to O.J. Simpson's defense. Black women are the reason O.J. Simpson didn't go to prison in that first case. I'm talking about the one with the double homicide. It was black women on that jury that made sure O.J. did not go to prison.
Okay, I'll give you that. But I'm just saying, I don't believe he was guilty.
I don't either, but I'm saying it was black women that made sure.
Right, that saved him. Yeah. Guilty or not guilty, it was black women that saved him. Got it. I agree, 100%. But I'm saying we have to begin teaching our folks how to play the game. That means if you get on a jury and it's a black guy and you have one question. Oh, nope, they didn't answer that question. Not guilty.
Or at the very least, a hang trial or something, a mistrial. At the very least,
that's what I'm saying. All you need is one vote.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All you need is one vote. Nope, you're not. And it doesn't matter how they threaten you or scream at you and holler at you. At the end of the day, it's your vote. I'm not voting guilty. End of conversation.
Oh, I'm in agreement with you, brother. I'm definitely in agreement with you on that. I am woke. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace and light, family. Hope you guys had a good day, safe and sound. But yeah, you guys are right. Judge Mathis, I used to be a fan and sit there and watch the shows and sit there how he talk shit, talk down black men, black women, even black children. He didn't give two shits. And then chuckle, a big belly chuckle, But in regards to the Black Lives Matter movement, I don't support the shit either. Because if you go on their website, I haven't been on their website in a while. If you go on their website, you can see what they're about. They're looking for LGMNOP rights. That's what it was all about. So I don't support it either. But in regards to black men being a part of it, absolutely. Absolutely. I was the creator and founder of Missing 24. One of the reasons why we started Missing 24 with Isaiah Washington was because of Isaiah Washington's passion and love for Darren Sills, who he knew personally. So, and Darren Sills was on the front line. We were devastated when he found out he got murdered. Devastated. And push harder. So black men were definitely there, on the front line, putting in the work across the country. So for him to come out his old raccoon mouth and say that nonsense is just ridiculous. But to be perfectly honest, based on his show, I expect nothing less. I expect nothing less. I'm at the point in my life where I just don't even spend too much time on people like him who are not on code and falling in line. You just can't. It's just far too much energy and time and for what? You know, put their asses on blast and keep it moving. Write them off. Put them on the purge list. You know, when it go down, they're gonna be the first to go because this, it's just ridiculous. We got so much stuff that we're facing. We're being attacked top to bottom, left to right, literally, and you know, it's people like him. It's just not worth it. Put their asses on blast and keep it moving.
Absolutely, sister. When I saw this morning, I felt the need to go ahead and talk about it. I want to create a space around it. I want to create some dialogue. I'm glad to get a couple of sisters' perspective on this situation here too. And just before you get ready, I just want to ask you real quick: as a black woman, how does it make you feel when you hear a black man sitting up here and he's trying to use black women and even white kids as a proxy to diss black men?
People only do what they allow them to do. And this is why I appreciate you for holding this space. And I hope that everybody shares, everybody who's in here. I don't know how many people's in here. Everybody just share it out and tag his ass in it. You know, so let people know, let him know, a loud and clear message. Like, we're not tolerating your nonsense. I'm absolutely offended by it, and whatever he has coming to him in any capacity is long overdue. It's long overdue.
Because I've seen times on his channel and stuff, like on his show, when somebody made a remark or something, he felt that it was anti-gay or something, and he was quick to snap and quick. Well, my brother's gay, so what are you trying to say? He was quick to let you know, like, hey, don't go there. But that same respect was not reciprocated to his brothers here. He went ahead and like I say, I don't know what kind of bag they didn't promise him. Because like I said, I know he has a new show on with the whole family. As if it's not as if he needs the money. It's not as if he's hurting already. The man has already got generational wealth set up for the next 4-5 generations in his family easily. So it's not exactly like he's hurting that he has to work a 9 to 5 and he's bringing in $40,000 a year. He has a mortgage that he's behind on and 2 car payments and he's got a kid in private school and all that. No, this man is loaded. He's rich. He's well off. He should own his house if he doesn't. I'm sure he probably owns property and real estate and everything else. So it's not like he's hurting. That's one thing I know we say that, well, the money and this and that, but damn the money, man. You're sitting up here, and like I said, you're targeting black people. You're saying, and then to me, the dangerous aspect is, like I said, this is a judge sitting up here, and that's the point that I want to get across to everybody else. This is a judge sitting up here. What are you trying to do, man? What are you really trying to do? This is a black judge sitting up here that's saying that all black men do is sit back there and kill each other. Okay, who are you trying? What audience are you really trying to reach by saying this? What message are you trying to project to all of America when you say something like this? What are you really trying to do here?
News, to your point, I'm looking at celebritynetworth.com, and that's a pretty reliable source. He's worth $20 million, net worth $20 million, makes $5 million a year. Just to your point.
And see, this is why I love boycotts, and this is why I believe that we should be putting forth tons of boycotts, because one of the biggest things that you can do to someone is target and hurt their profit. You hurt their profits, they can't feed their family, they can't feed themselves, they can't feed everything. Hashtag boycott Judge Mathis. Straight like that. And we boycott all his shows, old and new, and hit him in his pockets. You got to start hitting people when they violate. We have to start hitting them where it hurts, and not let it just be a week, because honest here. A lot of things that we have been putting forth have been like a fad. We mad for a couple of days and then we on to something new. No, we have to go through. It has to be some longevity, like the Montgomery boycott. Listen, you violate our people in public. Now we're going to take down your profits in public, and we're going to do it until you publicly apologize. And not only apologize, you gotta open up your checkbook and write a check in support of something. You're not gonna just say it with your mouth. You're gonna say it with your dollars as well. And this is how we have to come forth to anybody and everybody if they violate us in any way, even if it's the smallest violation. I don't care what it is. No, you don't have the right to do this to us anymore. Those days are over. We are done. You're going to publicly apologize to us and you're going to cut and write that check. Simple as that.
And sister, what you just said, you said that the boycott, that was the most powerful thing in the entire civil rights movement. Because, like you said, that hurts white people when it matters the most, their pocket. That when they did that boycott, that was the most powerful, impactful thing. But you gotta remember the discipline that these people had for how long they was able to do it, how they depended on each other. That was the most powerful aspect of the entire civil rights movement, taking nothing away from the march on DC and Selma and everything else. That damn boycott was the most powerful thing, and we have not duplicated that since.
And
look, you want to get a white person's attention, you hit them in their pockets. That's what they love. That's their God right there.
And that's facts. Look what the Asians did to Trump when he was talking shit about them back then. You know, they put all their stuff out of everywhere. Well, they didn't even come back to him. He was talking all that shit. They didn't say nothing. They just put out a full statement and said this is what's going down, and they made it happen. And it was no rescinding it, even though he came back and apologized. They said, nah, fuck your apology, man. We still going through this. This is still happening. It was never rescinded. And that's the type of things that we have to start putting forth on these violators coming at us in every way. Okay, cool, no problem. We ain't gonna do no memes. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna go in here and be yelling and screaming and wearing down shoes and holding up signs in the hot ass sun. I ain't even with it. I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm just not fucking with you. I'm not giving you my money at all, completely, forever, period, across the board. And I may be the only one, but you know what? I'm gonna be the change that people want to see. So you do what you want, but I promise you that Judge Mathis will get no airtime. I mean, I've been watching him God knows how long anyway, but he gets no play. He gets no play, not from me.
And make sure, like you say, hubby he don't watch it no more either, sister. Original, we're gonna go to original, then we're gonna go to Black Pressure. So go ahead, original, and go ahead and unmute your mic. And once again, y'all, everybody that's in the space, please go ahead, like the sister said, go ahead and tweet it out. Let them know that we're talking about this, man, and we are gonna start using that hashtag boycott Judge Mathis. So we definitely gonna start using that hashtag boycott Judge Mathis, and let's get this man to go up there and to apologize like he would do if this was an LGBT community he offended, if this was white women he offended, if this was Asians he offended, if it was a Jewish group he would already apologize. So let's go ahead and start to hit these people where it hurts the most at. Anybody that's in the space, please make sure you're following Newstoter, the largest curator today of Black news today in America, the largest news aggregator of Black news today in America. You can support us also on Cash App. If you have $1 that you'd like to contribute to Newstoter, it is $Newstoter. $Newstoter. And we also have our Venmo and PayPal links also in the Jumbotron. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic. Can you speak up a little bit louder, brother?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can hear you better.
Okay. Yeah, you know what I think this is with Greg Mathis? See, he looks to be a Democratic shield. And, what was that guy? I forget the guy name who said that they're going to have to scare the hell out of Black voters to get them to the polls. But I don't live in fear. They don't have anything that's powerful enough to scare me to get me to the polls. And it looks like that Greg Mathis, who, he, if I'm not mistaken, he leaned towards the Democrats. And so I think this is him trying to, drive that wedge between black men and black women, whereby, and because of what he said, I'm like, I don't watch ESPN. The only sport that I played was tennis, and I used to watch it. I quit watching it when the inherent racist white folks showed their true colors against Venus and Serena. So I'm like, why am I wasting my time sitting here watching this crap? I, I would go to the courts and play a practice tennis. So I think these people that coming out of the woodwork because they know that Jim Crow Joe, his ratings are in the toilet with black people, and this is their way of trying to get them out. They're going to either try to invoke fear in us, or they're going to try to shame us into coming out and voting. But my position is this: I don't care which party you're in. If you're not talking lineage-based reparations, I'm not voting for you. Plain and simple. And so, like I said, it is what it is. And like you said, these people, and this is why Malcolm X said, see, when you look at it, Greg Mathis is an entertainer. And what did Malcolm X say? Do not allow the entertainers to be your leader because they will flip on you at the drop of it. And see how he has flipped on us? And technically, Greg Mathis is an entertainer. He may be a judge, but he's an entertainer judge. And I haven't been able to listen to it yet, but I saw the link where it talked about, where it stated that Judge Joe Brown said black people don't have culture. I'm tired of hearing people say that we don't have culture. If we don't have culture, why does everyone come to us, you know, to steal what we have if we don't have culture? Now, I don't care how old you are, you're not, I mean, I believe in respecting elders, but sometimes, you know, elders just have to be cussed out like they cuss other folks out. Just because you old, hey, that don't mean anything to me at some point. I mean, I'll respect you, but when you go off the hinges, you have to be called, you have to be reeled in. And I'll land my plane on that.
No doubt, no doubt. Appreciate you coming in, original. DJ, go ahead. You got your hand up. DJ, you there? Okay, I don't know if he's his hand is just up or
Yeah,
whatnot.
I'm doing an unload real quick. I'll come right back to y'all. My bad.
Yeah, we had black pressure, but I guess I don't know what's been going on with these Twitter Spaces, man. They are just people. I keep constantly getting complaints from people saying I'm in your space, so I'm coming in and out. I was in a Black Majority State space on Saturday, trying to listen, and I constantly kept getting pushed out. And I went to other spaces, I could hear just totally fine and clear reception. So I don't know what it is. Certain spaces is catching the attention of Twitter. I know before, a lot of times we think that it might be a phone issue, it might be a connection issue. In some cases, that may be true. In some cases, it's just that these spaces are being shadow banned. Some of the stuff that they feel like people are saying, they don't want it to be said and whatnot. So I definitely, for all you that came to the space, I definitely appreciate it. I'm sorry if you're having any connection issues and stuff like that. This has been going on for about a month now. It is just, like I say, most of the time people can get in and listen, but a lot of times, sometimes you have people constantly keep getting kicked out, kicked out, kicked out, kicked out. I'm getting DMs and comments and stuff about it. And I wish it was something that we could do on our end to prevent it. Unfortunately, it is what it is with Twitter and whatnot. It is what it is with social media platforms. That's why black-owned business, black-owned tech, and everything else we need to be looking at. We in a new age and era. We need to be looking at having our own stuff. And just like I said, getting back to Judge Mathis, I already tweeted out boycott Judge Mathis. You guys go ahead if that's what you want to do. I don't want to tell anybody that you should do something, but for me, like I say, to me, he took it too far. He made this personal. It was not thought out. It was nasty. It was an attack on black men. Like I say, I'm pretty sure. And here's the thing about it. A lot of time we talk. I'm pretty sure he gonna say the black people in his family just going out there killing people, killing people. There's always somebody else. it's always somebody else in the community. It's never those ones that we closest to that's doing it. It's always somebody else. So he would never sit up there and say just the people. His family was out there killing people and this and that, and this and that. So I have an issue with Judge Mathis from here on out. I definitely won't be supporting anything. I haven't watched the Judge Mathis show, and I don't know when. When I used to watch it, like I said, I was never a huge fan of it, but I would watch it because a lot of times there was nothing on TV to watch. But most definitely won't be supporting that new reality show. I know it's been on. I haven't watched any bit of it. I know I have tweeted. I think I may have tweeted out something before about it on his show or whatever, but that was before I even heard about this comment that he made. So any new things supporting him or whatever, definitely Newstoter will not be supporting Judge Mathis. Now we are a curation site, so I can't help it if one of my sources goes ahead and they actually through automation if it appears on the platform, but in terms of sharing it on social media or something like that, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This man showed complete contempt for black men as a whole, like I said, and he's been taking that play card that the Democrats and whatnot. I mean, and it's Democrats more than the Republicans. Democrats love to go ahead and they don't mind lifting a sister up as long as they can go ahead and they can push a brother down. So I was so glad to hear from sisters in this actual Twitter space to talk about it, to get their actual point of view or whatnot. Like I said, if you guys want to support him, by all means, Lord, I want you to know that I was in complete agreement with what you said for the most part. My only thing was that we had a little bit of differences when we're talking about his actual handlers and if it's not him or this and that. Like, I blame his handlers and I blame him as well because he is the instrument that they're using. So I'm in agreement with you. I don't want you to think that, hey, that we're totally off or whatnot. I understand exactly what you said. It's his handlers at the end of the day, that may be holding something over his head or whatever. But like I said, at the end of the day, this man is a man that has financial means. He has this and that. They can't take all that away from you, no matter what type of scandal they put out on you or whatever. They can't take everything. Everything OJ got, and OJ don't have anywhere near the kind of money that Mathis got, and OJ still got money to this day. All the stuff that Cosby went through, Cosby still got money to this day. So no matter how much they try to break you, you can still survive it. It's just up to you. You got to have some kind of backbone. And Mathis showed himself not to have any backbone whatsoever. Black Pressure, I know you were up early and then you kind of fell in the matrix, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead. Unmute your mic, brother.
Hey, I just start out by saying what's up to the black family, respect to the host. Hey, man, Twitter is messing with the space is bad. It kicked me out like 2 times, but I know I'm late to the room, but I will say this. One of the ways,
It's trying to kick you out now because you kind of mumble now. Go back to what you were saying because we kind of lost reception. We can't hear you. Are you there? Black Pressure, you there? See, it's the spaces, man, that they've been doing. Like they've been. You there, brother?
I'm here.
Yeah, like we losing you. Like we haven't heard. Like you just totally just got muffled and we couldn't understand anything you were saying. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with these spaces. Black Pressure, if you may have to come out and come back in, come out and come back in if you can. Just come out and come back in if you can, because like I said, this has been happening in spaces. I've been in spaces where I've been having to do that myself. So if you can, come back out and come back in if you can. Lloyd, you got your hand up until we can get him straight. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I stepped up for a second, and I went to look to hear what Joe Brown actually said, and it started out with him asking, he was commenting on a video of this Haitian woman talking about black people in America are free because of Haitians, and that she wouldn't date a black man because they didn't have nothing, blah, blah, blah. So he is on another discussion show talking about that. And so he asked the moderator, her name is The Real Dana, and you can go see this on YouTube. he asked her, what is black culture? And so she said, well, it's, she couldn't answer. She came up with some stuff, the usual, it's our dance, it's this, it's that. And he was like, is that your culture? Is that what you think it is? And again, remember, I said before I'm going to buy into that he said something he shouldn't have said, I need to hear the context. And what he is saying is that what I'm taking away, my takeaway is that as long as we are Black Americans and not Americans first, we're always going to be second class. Because he's saying, it's an American culture, and what we've contributed to it is as important as anybody else. So, and it's real, and he didn't go into this, but I'll go into it. We couldn't be having this space if it wasn't for a Black woman, because she created the math that got a satellite up into the air. It was a Black company that created the internet as we know it today. So what he was saying is don't get caught up in the dumb shit. Know what you're talking about. That's what I heard him say. So y'all can go on and look at it. But who's ever putting that out about him is putting it out completely out of context. I'm done.
Appreciate you. And like I say, I myself would have to hear that, because like I say, I found that kind of hard to believe that Judge Joe Brown, somebody who has the historical sense that he has, that he would actually say something like that. So I definitely find that like hard to believe, because like I said, this man, not only is he a judge, he knows history. He knows American history.
And he came out with history. He's like, when she said it was the Haitian Revolution that created freedom for Black people here, and he was like, well, if you want to say that, you can go back to the model for all revolutions was the American Revolution in 1775. That started in 1775, because most people think it started in 1776, but he laid it out. That started in 1775. And so I just want to tell folks, before we get all upset and everything, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is a leopard doesn't change its spots. Joe Brown has a long history of supporting this community, even when it hurts. So I'm not jumping on, now Greg Mathis, different story. Two entirely different people. But Joe Brown, and I don't agree with everything he says, but I do know that he is an asset in this community, and I'm not letting somebody come in and take out another asset.
No doubt. Like I could get with, like I said, I have the utmost respect for that man. Just because of the type of man he is the type of man that we need to hear more of. He's straightforward. He's to the point. He can be blunt. He is blunt. He reminds me of the men that I grew up around. They, that's how they were. When we talk about unapologetic, especially around their family. But if they were out and they were conducting business and stuff like that, how they were in the public was one thing. How they were around their own family was a whole nother thing. Things that they wouldn't say to the general public, they would tell you something like, damn, like you got to put it like that. Like, yeah, I got to put it like that. So I definitely, like I said, find it hard to believe that he would say that, because he knows about all of the cultural contributions we've made to this country. This would be no country. I get what you're saying, Lloyd. If he's saying that, hey, if he's trying to say, well, Black culture is American culture, I understand that totally.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I understand that.
What he's saying.
Because Black people are Americans through and through. Been here since the country was founded. Been here before the country was founded. So yeah, I definitely understand it. And everything that makes this country great, unlike what Trump says, the MAGA crap, a lot of that stuff came from Black people.
Well,
like you said,
if it wasn't for a Black man and a Black woman, Donald Trump would not have been the president, because he used social media, and social media was created with the math we came up with.
Absolutely. And there's so many different other contributions. Now, Greg Mathis, like you say, pure celebrity, pure entertainer, up here, like I say, to appease the masses and whatnot, and appease the masses also at the detriment of Black people. So until we can we can get that situation straightened out, I will be posting. I already posted my boycott, Judge Mathis. I'm gonna post it daily or whatever. So anybody that wants to post it as well, please go ahead. Those who say I don't, that's fine as well too. But like I say, to me, especially if you're a black man and you're in this space right here, he was talking to all of us. Okay, he was sitting up here saying basically we all sat on our butts and all we did was cause mayhem. He made sure he said this, and not only that, the Negroes getting a war, and he decides to say this. He's gonna get serious. He's gonna get hard. He's gonna get hardcore. He's gonna get gangster. He's gonna tell us like how it is. You ain't cool. You ain't the man. You supposed to be the man. You're a punk. You're a punk. And here's the craziest thing that I don't understand all about what this fool was saying. He told you you're a punk until you stand up and fight for your woman. Does this Negro not know that George Floyd was a man that got the life choked out of him? Does this Negro know that most of the people that's getting killed on the street by the cops are men, black men? What are you talking about? You just want to be heard. You just want to be heard. You just want to be seen and heard. You just came up and made some stuff up that didn't even make any sense. The actual the protests and all of that stuff that took place, and yeah, we had Breonna Taylor and stuff, but most of the ones every damn week you turn, because I can tell you because I was doing the news. Dante Wright and I mean Ahmaud Arbery and everybody else, most of the people getting killed were black men. So what are you talking about, dude?
So what are we saying on hashtag boycott Greg Mathis?
I put boycott Judge Mathis because most people know him as Judge Mathis. I just put boycott Judge Mathis.
Hashtag boycott
hashtag boycott Judge Mathis.
Okay, I'm trying to post it now, but they all know I'm technically challenged, but I'll get it out there.
No problem, no problem. Like I say, for those that's in the space that's not following Newstoter, make sure you follow Newstoter. Today, the Newstoter machine put out about 22, 23 articles a day. We have some good ones too. So make sure if you guys have seen some of the articles, y'all go ahead and click. I told you we need eyeballs on the content. We need y'all to go on the website. We need you to subscribe to the newsletter. We got links right up in the Jumbotron. I try to keep it as clean as possible. We got a Facebook link in there. You got a YouTube link in there. You got some of everything else in there. So y'all go ahead and try to keep it. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. Not too many links in there because I want y'all to find the content where we're at. So you can go ahead and follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. You can go to the actual newsletter link and go right there to the actual box and put in your email address, confirm it, click it in your email, and bam, you subscribe to the newsletter. So please go ahead and make sure that you're supporting the new black media, the largest curator of black news today in America. We definitely need that. You're talking about the largest curation platform. We support other black-owned businesses. So we support other black-owned. If we don't support our own, who don't support us? I think we've already seen that right now. You surely can't. I'm sure Judge Mathis ain't gonna support us unless he has some kind of non-profit organization where he can get a little bit of money back and get some publicity or whatever. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of our people, as long as they can get the cash save with getting some publicity and they can get a few dollars and to go ahead and offset some of their tax issues and this and that, they can go ahead and pass that down like just out the kindness of their heart. A lot of them, unfortunately, not really trying to do anything. And like I said, Judge Mathis definitely proved this dude right here. He definitely proved himself. Yeah, I mean, bad buck or whatever he wants to be. I know he's been married to the same woman for this and that, but what he did and the actual target that this judge just placed on black men by saying that garbage about black men going out here killing people, this and that, and all this other stuff, totally uncalled for. Totally uncalled for. I want to thank Miss Giselle for her contribution on Cash App as well. Thank you, Miss Giselle. Another one of the great supporters of Newstoter. Definitely always interacts with the content, comes to the actual Twitter spaces. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I want everybody in this space, man, to go ahead. This is how we get stuff to go viral too, man. I need y'all to start tweeting some of this stuff out. You see, for every day I'm reporting police brutality. I'm reporting this. I'm reporting that. I'm passing along from a curation partners. I need y'all to go ahead and 2-3 retweets ain't gonna do it, man. We need 30, 40, 50 retweets on some of this stuff right here just to get us some eyeballs on the content. We need 100 retweets, 500 retweets. to really make stuff go viral, to really get people to pay attention. No, the mainstream of America is not going to pay attention if you got 10 retweets. They're not going to pay attention to that. But if you got 1,000 retweets and people leaving 1,000 comments and stuff like that, that stuff starts to gain steam and attention. Right now, Judge Mathis could wake up tomorrow if this thing was done right, and he could be having to get ready to write him an apology toward the black man. Oh, I'm sorry, black man, I offended you. I was just trying to motivate you. Just come up with some bump. Lloyd, were you trying to say something again? Because I saw you like your mic was moving.
No, I had to ask somebody a question, so I muted it. I'm good. I'm figured out how to get this tweet out. Okay, so.
Hey, DJ, are you there? Hey, DJ, are you there?
Yo, I'm here, brother.
Yeah, I know you had your hand up. Did you want to add something there?
Yeah, I was just agreeing with since I'm a woke billionaire or whatever. The moment we start supporting these people, the sooner it be for them to come apologize, like you said, Tyler. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. And guess what? We still gonna hold your feet to the fire like these Jews do, like these Asians do. You know what I'm saying? And not even F with you for probably like 5, 10 years down the line. We gonna make you feel it for 5, 10. Same thing with the Democrats. I know a lot of us running around, and I don't know who got that boycott the vote thing, flyers handing around FBA. That's the dumbest shit in the world, yo. Close the border. Go if you don't feel like you want to go mess with the DNC, and you don't obviously we ain't voting Republican. At least vote for a candidate that's willing to close the border. But unfortunately, that's all Republican ticket. I'm up here in the Northeast. Ain't nothing but tether bill around here. Y'all gotta go because y'all don't got no respect for FBA, ADOS, freedmen. You know what I mean? Black American. No respect, no patronization, no association, no integration. Even though we all in the same hood, we separated, man. So with that being said, stop supporting these people. Same thing you heard that other Asian lady say, oh, everybody was a slave. Ooh, let me bite my tongue for a hot second because I don't want to curse on the title show. We don't care, Chung Lee. You know what I'm saying? I'll say that much. You know what I mean? Your people didn't suffer what our people went through. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And some of your people, the Chinese, y'all savages, yo. Look what y'all do to y'all own people. And then when other countries go and talk bad about China, y'all organ harvesting, doing all this other stuff, treating the far long gone Muslims terrible, killing them. Oh, you want to bring black people, or America, look what y'all do to black people, though. Yo, don't throw us under the bus because somebody else pulling y'all plug. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing that's going on. Stop supporting these people. Go buy from your own folk, man. It's real simple because everybody in the hood got something you need or know a Negro that know a Negro that know a Negro that got it. That's all you got to do is go communicate and ask. Stop supporting these people. People like our own. This is why a lot of our folks beat them coons to death. You know what I'm saying? Because they know if we were to continue on with y'all jokers, we ain't gonna survive. So from now on, with that being said, jokers that ain't, on code, quote unquote, I got my fingers up with the reparations. You know what I'm saying? Got my fingers up on code. You know what I mean? You gotta leave them alone. This includes family, friends, day ones, associates, everybody. Just leave them alone. Because if they ain't talking this mess, they gonna get their Negro wake up moment real soon. Because I'm doing that to all my family as well. I ain't just delineating from the tethers. I'm delineating from my own kinfolk, man. Real talk, because they don't give a damn, yo. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think 3 minutes of I forgot his name. He has the actual flyers that he's talking about not voting or whatever. So yeah, he's definitely one of the ones talking about not voting. I think something like 4,000 flyers are made up or whatever like that. So he wants me to.
But hold on, here's the other argument. My bad to cut you off too about the not voting. First of all, you're putting it in people's minds, and this is how easy it is. We be indoctrinated about little things because we don't never take the time out to read the book anyway. You know the game. You want to keep something from a black man, put it in the book. You know the rules. So when you're saying vote the boycott or boycott the vote, whatever it is, how you saying it, that means people are already not voting locally in their neighborhoods. You got to understand, voting consists more of the president And that's what our people don't seem to understand up here in this Twitter space because we barely got a civic education now in high school, let alone grade school and all this other stuff. When you say you're going to boycott, that means you're boycotting voting for a controller, dog catcher, garbage man. You feel what I'm saying? These type of services, mayor, Congress, senator, all that's important, not just the president. So what the hell are we actually boycotting? See what I'm saying? So all other thing is too, you don't have to go vote. You know what I'm saying? To blue no matter who. You could go find a candidate that's talking no shit, like a Marcel or whatever. You know what I mean? And lean that way. But we obviously see that we can't vote DNC unless these candidates is talking reparations and the black agenda and black protection and black business and all this other stuff. Go ahead. I think Original had his hand up first. Wait,
because I see somebody here running their mouth right here by the name of Coleman. Coleman, I'm gonna give you an invite to speak since black men are mad about the truth. Come on up here and speak on it. Since black men are mad about the truth. Come on up here. Let's hear your thoughts about black men. Since obviously you agree with what Mathis said that black men are mad about the truth. Come on up here. I want you to come on up here and speak, Coleman.
Don't be scared now, dog. Come on up, man.
Come on up here. You left a little comment or whatnot. I'm giving you the mic to come on up here. So come on up here and speak. Since black men are scared about the truth and whatnot.
He's scared.
It's always you always.